All right, everyone, welcome back to the return of Ben and Bones. Long awaited, been, I don't know, over a year now. Just figured it was time to bring it back.
Perfect day to bring it back. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got so your birthday's this week. Your birthday's on the 27th, so two
That's right.
days, right?
That's right.
And I was thinking about this today on my way to Dunkin' Donuts to get a nice little culotta for the boys. Um, your birthday happens to be on probably one of the best sports days of the year. If you think about it, you got the
So,
Bruins,
yep.
right? NHL's in full swing, getting started. NBA starts tonight. We obviously got the Premier League going on. We got the NFL going on. What else am I missing?
I don't know. October 27th, 2004, Red Sox broke the curse. Big day.
Woo!
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
That's great. I think I'm because my birthday is the 17th, so they used to get swept on my birthday. That's what I had to.
Getting swept from the wild card on your birthday, yeah.
Yeah, they got like swept by the Yankees in the ALCS.
Yep.
That was like what my shit was known for. But I'm just trying to load up the World Series. That's the one I forgot. World Series also. It's
Yep.
pretty damn good.
Got the B alert for Yabo's shirt on.
Yahoo! Love it. And, wraparound schedule, PGA Tour.
Oh, the little Justin Thomas. Hey, bro, try winning a real tournament for me one time.
CIMB Classic, right?
I tweeted at him and I was like, are you sneaky pissed that you won again because you have to keep flying back to Malaysia to defend your title?
I bet you they do a lot of happy endings in Malaysia, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
He also, I read some story. They said that he bought, this is Justin Thomas we're talking about for anybody who doesn't know, or anybody who's listening. He bought, was it suede slippers last time when he won? That was like his big gift to himself. Did you see that?
I did not.
It's like, dog, this shit's like $1 million. I would buy myself suede slippers if like I want a scratch off for $50. How about buying grandmama like the whole apartment complex, right? Doing something like that.
Did you see that he woke up at 4:00 in the morning in Malaysia time, the day of the last day, to watch Alabama?
Because he went to Bama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my screen right now. I get LeBron James on the mic talking to Cleveland. Fuck this guy, man. I don't know why. I don't know why I hate him, but I hate him.
I put a little money on just the Cubs outright to win the World Series this series. There is no way that the universe is letting Cleveland win back-to-back titles, basically.
What if they do and then they don't win again for another fucking 1,000 years?
If they do, the city will burn to the ground.
People be eating horse poop again, full horse poop diet.
I know most cities do this. Boston doesn't really do it, but like, so the baseball stadium's right next to the basketball stadium, and they have their opening night for Banner Night and the World Series on the same night. And Cleveland's just like, we're never gonna have to deal with this kind of issue.
The city planners didn't put that in.
Yeah,
the only disaster.
We'll just build 4 stadiums with 1 parking lot in the middle.
The only disaster would be if somehow the Indians made the World Series and we had a big Cavs game. Clearly not going to happen. But whatever. I actually do really like Kyrie, though. I think he's pretty dope.
Yeah.
You like Kyrie?
I'm just still pissed that they won. I just wanted LeBron to never win one in Cleveland.
So let's do a brief NBA preview to get started since this is on right now and it's about to kick off. I was just reading Bill Simmons' first column in God knows how long that he wrote about LeBron and how, I'm sure you're going to love this, he's approaching MJ and all this kind of bullshit. Whatever, his 15 years were better than MJ's first 15. And basically, if you look at the odds in Vegas, it's like, I think Golden State is minus 120 to win.
Oh,
is insane, right? Like that's what you get on a game bet, not a championship before the season. And Cleveland's like, similar plus 140 or something like that. And everybody else is like to the moon. Gun to your head right now. Is it a trilogy? Is it the Thrilla in Manila? Is it Cleveland versus Golden State again? Or no?
I was thinking about this a little bit today. Like, I want to just say there's no way both teams can make it again. Just like the odds of you getting through the regular season uninjured, you don't get like the Cavs ran into a game 7 last year, or they might have, but the Warriors did, and you have to win a game 7. You think 3 playoff series to get there just seems like you can't really do it. I mean, they're definitely the 2 best teams by a million miles, but I don't know. That's a lot of mileage on KD at this point. He's injury plagued. LeBron, lots and lots of miles. Just a lot of 3-pointers to fall for both teams.
I think that obviously I'm not breaking any new ground here, but I think that it's a lot easier for the Cavs to get in because the East is so weak. It's like if they don't make it, who's going to make it? The Celtics? I don't think so.
Raptors?
Raptors? No. Pacers?
Yeah.
Knicks tape? Is Knicks tape coming back with D Rose? And actually, I was trying to do a fantasy basketball team today. And I texted my buddy, and we were trying to come up with a team name. And he's like, you got to go with a pun on Rose and rape or something like that. We had like a 10-text chain that was really disturbing, just like textual consent, stuff like that. We'll cut this.
We'll cut this, yeah.
But I don't know. I think that the Cavs – I think the Cavs are definitely going to make it, and I always bet on the side of randomness. And I think that the Warriors won't make it. I think some shit's going to happen. The reality is they can't afford to have 2 of those guys get injured, which is very possible.
I mean, who can the Cavs afford to have get injured, though?
But the Cavs miss a lot of – I just think because the conference is so weak,
Yeah.
So even if you're trotting out J.R. Smith starting instead of LeBron, you'll still be an okay team, Not going to be great. But if you – the depth on Golden State, I don't even know who the fuck they have. Who's on their bench?
Yeah, I don't know. I read that today that the Warriors bench is not that deep. Cavs actually have an incredible bench. I think what you do if you're Steve Kerr, first day of training camp, you just walk in, you say, guys, we have the best team in the NBA. Draymond, just stop punching people in the dicks, and we'll win the NBA Finals. Yeah. They probably would have won if he didn't get suspended that game.
He's a loose cannon too. So you got to worry about injuries to all those guys, and you got to worry about him being a total loose cannon.
Yep.
Right?
And dick pics.
Dick pics. Not that impressive of a dick if we're going to go there.
Yeah.
Power forward, 6'9". I'm expecting big things. I'm expecting an elephant tusk, and I got like a baby eggplant. All right, so that's our NBA preview. From elephant tusk to eggplant. What else do we want to do? Tell me a little bit about the Bruins. What's going on? I'm a very, very casual NHL fan. I see stuff on Twitter with all the guys talking about it. Apparently, this Austin Matthews kid is fucking unreal. And then I'm just kind of pissed. I hate when Boston teams let go of stars. And the second they did that trade for when they got Louis Eriksson and they gave up the dude on Dallas. What's his name again?
Sagan.
Yeah, Sagan. That sucked, and I've kind of been turned off. But apparently, your boy Bergie and Marchand is playing like a dude possessed right now.
Yeah, so we're going to have to cut this because I haven't been paying attention to the Bruins.
You got a little bit. You got to know. You don't know more than I do for sure.
Well, so last year I went to 6 games and they lost all 6 games, and I've been waiting for them to return to the playoffs since they lost the Stanley Cup final, and it's just been terrible and just a lot going on right now, and I have not paid attention. I was watched the first 2 games. I think they won, checked the standings, and they're in 6th place in their division in their conference, so I was like, ooh.
So you already watched games. You make it sound like you're you haven't seen anything. You know what's going on.
I've watched 2 games. I need to get back into it.
Well, you got plenty of time. It's a long ass season. I mean, the fucking playoffs takes 3 months, so
exactly, yeah,
you'll be good. What's the deal with Tuukka though? I thought he seems like he's not nearly what he was a couple of years ago. I don't get that.
He was trash last. Well, I shouldn't. Actually, I really can't even speak to the Bruins and expect people to watch it. Yeah. I'm not going to.
Tell me more about the Jacksonville Jaguars then.
Jags, they need to fire Gus Bradley. Oh my God, that guy is
12 and
terrible.
39, or no, 13 and 39, something like that.
Something like that, and like Bortles just like regressed so hard. He's terrible. They got Jalen Ramsey, who's like going to be a great stud on defense, and that guy is a loose cannon to the max. He keeps mouthing off and getting ejected and shit. I saw they said at least we got our running back of the future, and there's a tweet, and it's like the Raiders punter rushed for more yards last game than TJ Yeldon.
So I want to back up for a second because I don't think anybody understands why we both like the Jaguars, and you were one of the originators of this, is that it's become so easy to be a Patriots fan. So boring, so repetitive. The season doesn't start till the AFC Championship game. It's a 2-game season. Congrats to all the boys on locking up their 94th consecutive AFC East title in week 2 this year. That was fantastic. So we're jagging off. We decided to go and follow an underdog team because we want to see what it was like to experience that lifestyle. And it sucks. I don't know how much you guys do it. It's pretty bad.
I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to this Thursday night game, Titans-Jags. And I said last week against the Raiders, I was like, there's the 2021 AFC Championship preview right there. It looks like Bortles is like getting run out of town, though. People are not happy with his play.
I know, and it sucks because I love him so much from his PMT interviews. He's just seems like such a chillax bro, but I don't think chillax bros typically do too well.
Yeah, can you get Brady like Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson, maybe Marquise Lee, like some black wide receivers? I'd like that.
I don't think we're gonna get that.
No, never.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've loved Jalen Ramsey. I think he's great. And then I saw he got ejected. And then he had that thing where he's like, I do it again. Like, okay, that's probably not the best mindset to have out of that.
That's the Florida State in him.
Yeah, seriously. And Miles Jack apparently isn't even playing, and he was supposed to be dope, right?
Yeah, I think that knee injury has been nagging him for a couple of years.
Who's he? Oh, and they got Dante Fowler, who we both love.
He had the ACL last year. He came back this year, and I haven't really heard his name called too much.
They got a lot of quality talent. But let me just put this on the record. TJ Yeldon is not the running back of the future. I have a guy in my fantasy league whose top 2 running backs are LeGarrette Blount and TJ Yeldon. And Blount is obviously doing great, but Yeldon and all of his other guys, he had like Adrian Peterson, who's somehow still on his roster. He has all these other guys who are just terrible. And he's starting TJ Yeldon week in, week out. And it's just like, bro. It's weak, dog.
Yeah,
that's as bad as it gets.
Last week, maybe.
Like, man. So, I don't know. So, for overall NFL, though, you've seen all the stuff with the numbers being down, TV numbers. I saw one today that Richard Deitch put out. He said it was 25% they've lost on 25% was lost on Monday Night Football.
Really?
Yes. And everyone's trying to throw out their theories for it. What's your biggest theory?
Well, I heard something which I never thought about was that it's the election, which that doesn't explain 25%. But also, what I was thinking earlier, it seems like when they made the schedule, they just expected a lot of teams to be good. Like the first couple weeks, the Bears had the primetime game, and they're just trash. And they put in I can't think of them off the top of my head, but the games just haven't featured the best teams yet on the late night ones.
But I agree, and I think the election is a bullshit excuse. Right?
I also agree with that, yeah.
As much as people are interested in it, there's just as many people who are totally turned off by the 2 candidates that if there was a spike in ratings, the logic would be, well, people are so turned off by this, they can't stand the negative rhetoric. They've turned to sports as an escape for something that they can like get away from that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think people are tuning. Everyone knows Hillary's going to win the election. The shit's over. It's just fucking
people with brains know that. People still on Facebook are like, "Oh my god, it drives me fucking insane." But
well, who knows?
I digress.
I don't know what WikiLeaks is going to come out with because I mean some of their stuff is pretty hilarious and pretty damning, but it's over. and it's a total shit show. Just accept it. And it's got what? We have 2 more weeks left of this.
Thank
And the
God.
ratings aren't going to improve. No one's watching night in, night out. Oh, what's going to happen? You
Yeah.
know? Everyone's in their camps already, buried down. And I think that the point that you brought up that they don't have the good teams, it's like, who are the good teams though?
Yeah.
You know? Like there's nobody. I watch these games and I am dumbfounded about how terrible they are, right?
Yeah.
Like the Vikings, Sam fucking Bradford. Everybody's like, oh, he's so good. What a trade, blah, blah, blah. This dude fucking sucks. And if you are a football nerd and you love outside linebacker play and you're tuning in for Anthony Barr, that's like 80 people,
Yeah.
right? No one else is doing that. And so who's like the third best team? Broncos, they suck. Trevor Simeon's painful to watch. That's defense, right?
Yeah, so it's like it goes back to last year. You know, you get the Patriots bye week, or you watch a late night game. You're like, oh wow, this play is like not really quite as good as the Patriots. It doesn't like actually spoil you not to sound like a douche. And then this year, I was watching a game, and it was like it was the Bills game when it was Tyrod Taylor starting against Jacoby Brissett, and I was just like, are you serious? Just missing wide open third down, check down plays, like blowing third downs on defense and everything. Like, oh my God, like this is one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the world, and he was awful.
Yep. It's crazy. And I think the larger issue, which they don't want to admit, is a talent drain. They don't have good talent right now. If your number 1 overall pick is Jared Goff, you don't have a whole lot of talent coming out. And every league goes through this where there's peaks and troughs. I never know how to say that word, of talent coming in and replacing the kind of old guard. And when you have Manning retire, you have these kind of like old school guys who carried the mantle for a while, and you're not replacing it with good young talent. It's not good, you know? And there's this guy that I get all my fantasy advice from. His name's Pat Doherty from Roto World. He does all their rankings and stuff. And I love this dude because all he does is like call out other teams' bullshit, right? So he fucking rips on Case Keenum all the time. He rips on the Brockett ship all the time. He rips on all these dudes, right? And last night was I like ran to my phone to tweet at this dude, because if you watched, and I did, because just like Big Cat, my dumb brain, I'm addicted, so I still watch these terrible games that are already over. It's 4th and 3, okay? 18 seconds left. Texans are down 19 points. You're not going to win, right? Game's way over, right?
Yeah.
This dude on 4th and 3 throws a check down short of the sticks. Are you for real? Air it out for me one time. There's no risk.
I go on Twitter all the time and say that, like, it was in the Steelers-Patriots game, and it's
when they punted, I saw that.
5 minutes left, and you're punting. You're down a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, an onside. Well, maybe not the onside kick,
But
and
a field goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like they're embarrassed to like turn it over at the 30 and you concede an automatic score again. But if the announcer's like, he's playing the odds, I was like, no, he's not. The game is now over, barring like a pick 6 from Brady.
Right.
And going back to your original point, I read a good tweet, and it's something I really didn't think about. It's like in the next CBA, they have to renegotiate the practice laws or the practice rules, because like they're just getting so much less practice time, and that's why they're just not as sharp. They don't know the plays as well, and like kind of the talent pool in that maybe hand in hand.
I wonder if it's practice time or if it's padded practice time specifically, you know?
Yeah.
Because I saw that same tweet that you're talking about, and I never looked into it. I don't know what they were focused on, but I don't know. It's because it just seems like the defenses are good. It just seems like the offenses are so bad.
Or the defense is good because the offenses are now way worse.
Chicken or the egg, right? It could be one or the other. But it's terrible. Like, it's really painful to watch, and that's probably why ratings are down. Because if you give me the option as an avid football fan on Sunday at 10 o'clock out here, or 1 o'clock, to watch CBS, to watch Fox, or to watch Red Zone Channel, I'm not sitting through all that bullshit.
Oh
I'm,
yeah, I mean
I'm red zone.
just the commercials in general. Like even when I'm watching the Patriots game, I'll have the last button queued up so fast, like touchdown. Oh, I'm not watching this. I'll watch a minute of red zone. I don't need to see touchdown commercial, kickoff commercial. So
Yeah.
they really do have to look into that. I know they never will because it's dollars and because we're all big idiots, like you said, and we're gonna watch no matter what. But when you get like 6 commercials in a 3-minute span, it's so brutal.
The commercial kickoff commercial makes me want to jump out
Yeah.
of a building. It's the worst thing ever.
This is a little segue for you. It's like I get why big soccer fans like can't really get into some of our sports because you just watch 45 minutes straight, a little quick break, 45 minutes straight, the game's over. You don't have to deal with, the huddle, the thing, and just setting everything up. The commercials takes forever.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's interesting you said that because it makes a ton of sense. But there was just a report that said that the Premier League and Champions League numbers are down as well for stuff. And I think
The election.
what? Because the election. Dude, that's a total. You want to talk about a segue? That's a total tangential point that I could get on, which is just like my American like nationalism. Because of all the people I follow who are, UK based for soccer, who tweet about the American election, I'm like, you bitches, man, back the fuck off. No one cares about your opinion on this. No one gives a shit. Why are you chiming in? No, we didn't say shit about Brexit. I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking
Maybe.
blah, blah, blah.
Maybe.
You know?
I
What'd you
didn't.
say? Oh, you did?
No, I didn't, but there were many Americans commenting on the Brexit.
I guess, but like not like somebody who you follow specifically for sports. Like that would
Right.
be kind of a weird thing to do. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's weird. But their whole theory is just oversaturation, which for us, yes, it totally makes sense because you have obviously Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night football, all that shit, right? Not to mention all the college football you got going on. Over there, they are like just introducing Friday night football, I think this year. They have Monday night football. They play on Saturdays and Sundays. And then like today, Tuesdays, they have either Premier League or the League Cup games. Champions League or League Cup, right? Thursdays are Europa League. So they are legitimately 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's like I just think people are as we keep going, and into the future, everyone's getting, especially with like Netflix and all that kind of stuff, everyone's really able to hone in on a curated list of the things that they really like. And that's all they're going to pay attention to. Just like your Twitter feed, right? If someone's boring, somebody tweets too much about stuff that you don't care about, get them off. Doesn't matter, right? And people are doing that obviously with the TV. I'm a cord cutter. I'm not tuning into everything all the time anymore. I'm just watching what I want on demand. And they have to figure that out. And I think that, not to make this too like serious or whatever, but I think that from my perspective in my job working in like sort of kind of advertising is like the way that we've had to go is because for digital advertising, people used to just put a banner at the top and a banner on the side, right? And that was the equivalent of a 30-second TV commercial. Super generic, just kind of in the way or whatever. And the advertisers started realizing, well, that's not going to cut it because no one's paying attention to them anymore. Just like when you watch a football game, the Patriots, and a commercial comes on and you change it to red zone. You're not watching commercials any longer. You're DVRing, you're fast forwarding, you're doing all that kind of stuff. So if they want to make it a better user experience, right, and they want people to stay tuned in, don't have a kickoff commercial. Commercial kickoff commercial. Make it like, it's going to sound stupid, but make it like the 20-yard line sponsored by LensCrafters, 20/20 Vision.
Yeah,
make it some stupid shit like that.
Like watching a Red Sox game, every single thing is sponsored by something. And
integrated in there.
Going back to the DVR thing just for a quick second, not really sports related. They caught on like, I want to say like a year ago, maybe a year and a half. You used to be able to fast forward when you record something. And the right before your program starts back is an advertisement for that same network. Mm-hmm. And so then I would go and I would hit play, getting ready for it to go, and they switch back to like one or two quick commercials. I'm like, you guys are finally catching on.
But think about how fucking crazy that is. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it took them like 6 years to figure out, hey, we got to do something here.
Yeah.
Because Ben Bryant's bypassing all of our ads, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're not like the ad passer genius. You're just a kid who knows what he wants to find,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole TV media stuff is, they got to figure all this kind of stuff out. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's not looking pretty for them. And I, for one, love it because I love when shitty products get called out for being shitty, and that's what they are.
You still talking about the NFL?
Yeah, NFL, Premier League to a certain extent. Like the thing that Big Cat keeps quoting about Mark Cuban. Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered.
But like, sorry, go ahead.
It's just that's what's happening. Yeah, it's a bubble.
But here, I was thinking this the other day, and this I always say it's like these type of examples is why I'll never have like $1 billion and be a CEO or whatever. Like, why does Roger Goodell want his job? He's the most hated man in America. Gary Bettman's got to be his biggest fan because no one talks about how terrible a commissioner he is anymore. Goodell has more money than he can spend, his kids can spend, his grandkids can spend in their whole lives, and everyone hates him. And he's got to wake up every morning, roll over, check his phone, and be like, Josh Brown, oh shit, and like, like pour himself a big tall glass of whiskey and just like get through his day. He's got to be so miserable.
I'm with you, man. I would choose $50K a year in happiness over his life any day of the week.
Yeah, $44 million. He's just a punching bag.
And well, that's why they say the owners won't get rid of him, is because they love that he takes all the arrows for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is pretty, but the NFL is just so. I mean, they have issues every single week. Like that Josh Brown thing. That Josh Brown thing was just the height of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Like all you did, you had this shit happen to you 2 years ago. You fucked up so hard that everybody called you out. And then PR 101, you hired like 3 chicks to take over your domestic abuse violence department.
Yeah.
And they fucked this up. And now he gets and the Giants get to suspend him for 1 game, not the NFL, right? I think that's how it worked. And again, Tom Brady gets 4. This motherfucker gets 1.
It sucks that it keeps going back to that, but like, not that the story was laughable, but like the way it was handled was so laughable. It was like embarrassing. Like he got put on that special commissioners list instead of just like booted from the league.
Well, he's getting paid.
Yeah,
and he's a kicker. Who fucking cares?
Well, he got cut today.
Off the tour, Roger.
He got cut today, but I mean,
did he? Okay, good.
Yeah, and he released the story and is like, I never actually hit my wife, and then they went back to his like press release, and it's like it says that you actually physically struck her, but
I didn't hit her. I hit her with a hammer. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's the same thing with Ray Rice. I didn't punch her. I just hit her with my hand.
Her just got in the way.
It's like, it's unreal. I don't know. But that's why I'm like excited about the NBA, because I think that, you think about how Adam Silver handles things compares to how Roger Goodell handles things, and it's like the quality of play. The Bill Simmons article that I read before was the only thing that's tough is how all the stars are obviously congregated in Cleveland and Golden State for the most part. I mean, there's a ton of stars, but how great it would be as if, just like it used to be, Durant and Westbrook over here, and Love and Kyrie over here, and LeBron over there, or whatever. Like, that's where it would get kind of fun, because you'd have these small market teams that actually have a realistic chance at it. But I don't know. I think the stars are good, the product's good, the commissioner's good. They got their shit kind of figured out.
I'm kind of getting to the point though with the NBA that it's like almost becoming baseball to me. Like I'll just start tuning in towards the end, and
Totally.
like
Same thing for the NHL for you, right?
yeah, it's starting to be like that too. There's just like so much other good TV on. That's whatever. I still like to check the box scores, but like I'm not like I used to be obsessed, and I would turn into like a Hawks Wizards game on like a random Thursday night and like watch the whole game. And now I'm just like, you know, I got Netflix. I don't really care to watch this shitty basketball game.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and I think that was one of the other things about TV viewership numbers is it's so easy. I watched the Red Sox all year long from my phone. I didn't watch them, but I got Jared Carabas tweeting about them. I got these guys tweeting about. I got all this shit going on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm basically watching them. I know what's going on. I know what the score is, but I'm like kind of following them in an old school way in a new school style, right?
Yeah.
And you do that for all these leagues except for the NFL because every game is so important because it's 16.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't like as many shows probably as you do on Netflix. I feel like I get bored there quicker than I do, watching like I'd still watch a Wizards Hawks game if I could find it. That's like my biggest thing now with not having cable. But it's I don't know. I feel like it's weird to know that you're in a situation where the whole sports media landscape is very obviously changing, and you just don't know where it's going to go because shit's popping off, right? Something's going to happen in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and because of the sports media is almost why I'm not excited for the first couple weeks of the NBA season. It's just going to be takes about who kneels for the anthem and who does what for the anthem for like the first month. It's going to be so annoying. It's like, all right, I think this story is like kind of run its course.
Speaking of kneeling for the anthem, let's get your fiery hot take on Colin Kaepernick.
I don't know. Well, that's a little played out at this point, but he just like
the freshest on Ben and Bones. Only the hot topics.
He just didn't think it out at all, and it's definitely because he was a nobody at that point, and he just said it, and then like it was revisionist history from there, and he's like, "Oh, I got a couple good ideas. I can like spin zone this into making myself look good."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to do it, but I would say this, because I'm a goddamn patriot, and if you want to kneel for the anthem, that is your right to do it, and as the owner of the team, it is my right to cut you for that. That's my freedom of speech. It's not freedom of speech to do whatever you want with no repercussions. It's freedom of speech from like getting arrested by the government. You can still, if I walk in and say fuck you to my boss, he can fire me. That's not freedom of speech. I would just be like, hey, I don't support that. You're trash at this point anyway. We don't need to pay this enormous contract. See you later. Especially like the ball's on like that rookie cornerback or whoever on the same team, or like a rookie guy, middle linebacker on the Broncos that was doing it. That's bold. I respect that, but like because that, oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's a really, really tough one because it's a gray area, right? And my whole thing with it is, if you're going to do it, I want you to really understand the issues. And that's sort of hypocritical for me to say because I don't understand the issues. But then again, I'm not taking any sort of giant stand that's saying, yeah, I understand this. Like, I really want you to know what's going on and stuff. And I saw a couple interviews with him, and he was like, oh, I just think that Hillary and Trump are terrible. And it's like,
yeah,
I don't know if you thought this through, like, really, really intelligently.
That's exactly my point. And they were like, well, when will you stand? What has to happen? And he's like, I don't know. Just got to be better.
Right. And I get it. Like, he's just trying to start something. Who knows how much of it is personally motivated for himself to get attention, and how much is he's actually just trying to start a conversation. He's obviously done a successful job of starting that conversation. I think he was on the cover of Time, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I think he was.
It just seems like now everyone's like intelligent about it, and the conversations are a lot more tame, and people are level-headed about it. Like, it did start a good conversation, but at the beginning he was just being an idiot.
Yeah. Who knows? And he's another guy. How the fuck does he suck so much? How do we go from 2 years ago where Ron Jaworski is saying this guy's going to be the greatest quarterback of all time, and I still remember the play he had in that fucking Seattle playoff game where Sherman picked him off at the end. Yeah. But before that, do you remember that game?
You know the one I'm talking about the throw where he like threw a bullet, he jumped in the air and threw like
yeah. That was the dopest throw I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
That thing was a frozen – I think it was Vernon Davis caught it, like the right back of the end zone, or Crabtree, whoever it was. And it was and I was like, oh, shit, this dude can actually play. Yeah. And then I think that was the same year he carved up the Packers and he ran for like 250 yards. How the fuck do you go from that to what I just saw this past Sunday, where you're not beating out Blaine Gabbert, you're not establishing yourself as a successful quarterback, you're not throwing pinpoint throws, you're not even running past people. What the fuck? How does that happen?
I don't know. I was thinking about this today, that Jaworski comment, because it's hysterical, and
Fuck Jaws, man.
everyone wants like the part of the interruption sound bites, and is this the guy the greatest? That's the only conversation you can have. Is this the best team ever? Is this guy the greatest ever? I think for Kaepernick, it's probably like he wasn't thinking about stuff. He was just going out there and playing. Then you get like a little more pressure, and then you get paid, and you just like don't care. Like, do I want to wake up and work out? And it's like, I got like $40 million right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like some guys have. Maybe he just was never that good. Actually, I don't really know.
He had to have been good though, because we saw it
Yeah,
at least a little bit, right?
yeah, definitely. I mean, they were playing good teams too. It just, yeah, he did fall off the face of the earth.
If you're a GM or an owner of the team, that has to be the hardest thing in the world, is how is this guy going to react when I pay him, right? Because some guys are going to react like Tom, and they're just going to be even more motivated than ever. And some guys are going to react like Kaepernick and not try as hard, you know?
That's my other thing too, is I hate when guys do deserve like raises like you would in any other job. But like when you're Revis and you hold out a bunch of times and now you're not that good, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to pay you less. I'm withholding your paychecks until you agree to accept less. It's like it's two party holders in the contract. Like, why can't I pay you less when you suck?
Mm-hmm. The whole contract thing is so weird because it's baseball. Like I got into baseball, like I was saying this year, and I was like, whoa, like fucking Bogarts and Betts and all these dudes are studs. Like, I want to see, are we going to be able to lock these guys up? And the contracts is so fucked up because they artificially deflate your earning value when you start, right? So when you're a rookie in the baseball, I think it's like first 5 years under Major League Service, you're only able to get this amount of money, right? And then after that, it explodes.
Yeah.
Or then it goes to arbitration, and then it explodes. Same thing in basketball. You get the rookie contracts. Everybody was coming out early from college because they want to get that second contract because that's really when you get paid. So it's like when these guys are in their prime in baseball and basketball and everything, and they are 25, 26 years old, and they're making like $6 million a year when their earning value is like 30.
Yeah.
That's why when they're 29, they're holding out because they want $30 million when they're really worth 15. You know, so the whole contract thing is like it's all, everyone's looking kind of backwards. Like, we're paying you for past performance, not future performance, which is what the Patriots, I think, do such a good job at, and why fans like you and me get aggravated at them, because we'll be like, why don't you just fucking pay this guy?
Yeah.
And they're like, Ben and Jack, this guy's going to suck in a year, and we're not paying Revis $19 million.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
I was like devastated about Revis.
Yeah. Look at it now. He's getting torched this year and injured.
I know, it's in Bill We Trust. They say I've never enjoyed one single Patriots draft moment. I honestly don't think ever.
You know, what's so funny is, well, I will say this. I really, really, really enjoyed Dante Hightower because we never used to get guys like that.
Yeah.
And I remember the story came out right away that we had jumped the Ravens to pick him. And I was like, oh, okay. Because, you know, the Ravens know how to pick guys, right?
Yeah.
And they ended up drafting his teammate, Courtney Upshaw,
Yep.
who I just saw the other day is now like a backup on the Raiders. I was like, oh shit, like that was just two slots away.
Yeah.
You know, from this Pro Bowl linebacker to some backup on the Raiders. But yeah, what was the one I was just gonna say about the one that I loved was Dominic Easley.
Yeah.
When we picked him, I was like, yeah, we finally got like the sexy guy.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Off
Terrible.
the team.
I mean, at the same time, like I would have picked like any wide receiver the Detroit Lions ever took before Calvin Johnson. I would.
Charles Rogers.
Yeah, I loved Charles Rogers. Mike Williams from USC, who's like another drug addict. Vernon Goldston from Ohio State. I remember thinking I would have
loved those measurables.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. But then like the obvious when you need like a good player, they missed on Dez like 10 times in one draft, and then you draft like Rasai Dowling and some lineman from
Ross-eye
Rutgers.
Dowling just sent a shiver down my spine.
Yeah.
Like that was Ross IR.
Yeah. I would love to see who was taken after him. I meant to look that up, but
We passed on for Des Bryant. We passed on him a bunch of times and got McCourty, which it's okay. I think they got really lucky with that because they didn't draft him to be a safety.
Yeah,
lucky that it turns out that he's an amazing safety, but they draft him to be a CB. But yeah, my biggest one for that was because we're never in the top 10, and so we got Mayo, which I remember I was like, okay, like he seems decent. But when we drafted Richard Seymour way back in the day, I was like, I was dying for them to take David Tyrell, the Michigan wide receiver,
that
the Bears took. And I was like, wow, how could you pass this guy up? Like he's so, and granted, I'm like 13, so I'm just like, stars in my eyes. But yeah, I'd make a terrible GM. I'd be the worst.
I remember
we basically would be like every other GM that's out there besides the Patriots.
Yeah. How about Ryan Grigson from the Colts? And they're like, well, why aren't you as good anymore? And he's like, well, we had to pay Andrew Luck. It's like, every quarterback's making money.
What a dick comment, first of all.
Yeah,
right?
I know, right?
Literally the reason you're employed, the reason that you can put food on the table for your wife and kids, and you're not driving from Mobile, Alabama to Tuscaloosa to Nashville to all these places as an area scout, which is what your talent level is justified as, is because you were the GM when Andrew Luck happened to be the number 1 overall pick, and you got him on your team. Saved your job for years and years and years and years. Now he's getting paid fair market value, and you're using it against him as a reason why you suck at the rest of your job. If I was Andrew Luck, I'd be like, cut this motherfucker. I ain't playing for him. Trade me or get rid of him.
But Andrew Luck's just like, oh gosh, he's just a great GM.
That's just Griggs.
Yeah.
He's in my book. Fuck Grigson. I hate dudes like that.
Well, I hate him in general for all the Spygate shit too, but
well, that's the thing.
Not Spygate.
If you can't beat him, join him, and if you can't beat him and you can't join him, call him cheats. That's what everyone else has been doing,
Yeah.
So I think we should end on a topic that hits close to home for both of us, specifically Behind You and El Tigre.
Yeah.
Another hot button issue.
Yeah.
I want to get a temperature check on will he return, how he'll be when he'll return, and what is the best moment that will happen to him in the rest of his playing career.
Okay, oh boy. So since 2009, it was just, always sad, always expecting the best when he comes back. I've had a few super low moments where it's like, all right, I'm done, I'm officially checked out. Then you see Phil Mickelson come back and do this stuff. And Phil's got a bunch of arthritis and gambling problems, and his wife had cancer. He went through some stressful times, and he still comes out on Sundays of majors. He'll be 7 shots back and ball out. And it's like, I spent so many years hating him, and now I love him. It's just awesome to watch. I gotta think that Tiger wins. I've said this before, either a Masters or a British Open. I think the other two, he doesn't make enough birdies for the PGA and the game for the U.S. Open at this point. But the other two, I think he could definitely dink and dunk it around there in his sleep.
So you think that the crowning moment will be one more major? That's what you put your chips on?
Yeah.
So what's he at right now, 14? That'll get him to 15?
Yeah.
And he just turned 40?
Yeah.
So do you think he'll play in December?
Yeah, because that's his thing. And what did he play in that last year? And it was he played something around them, and he had the flubs, he had the yips. Was that the Isleworth thing? I don't know. I feel like he's going to be terrible when he comes back in this thing. It's going to be awful. It's like a 30-man field, and he's probably going to come in last unless Stephen Bowditch is there.
Stephen Bowditch. Did you see his tweet where he's like, "Hey Tiger, come play with me. You won't feel so bad."
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Oh my god, it was the funniest thing I'd see right after he canceled on Napa, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's because he's worried about his game." Fucking big eyebrow Bowditch comes out and says, "Hey man, play a practice round with me."
I love that Bowditch went to Napa, came in like dead last, and then the Malaysia field, there was not even a cut because they know guys aren't going to go over there to get cut, and he didn't even go to that one because he's like, if I come in dead last, that's like $5,000, the flight there. He's just like, I'll pass.
He's the definition of a grinder. I don't know how he still has this fucking card. This guy's unreal.
Because he won like the middle of 2 seasons ago, I guess. So he still has a card for all of this season and next season, I think. And he had some injuries, and he was just like, I'm just going to play through it.
Wow.
Terrible.
Good for him.
Yeah.
We should go to a tournament and follow Bowditch.
Yeah, that'd be great. The one, for me.
It have to be early in the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like him and I would get along with our eyebrows. We'd just be like,
absolutely.
What up? I'm in the same boat as you for Tiger. For whatever reason, it's so weird because he's always been the definitive competitor, right? He's always been the guy who's like, I tore my ACL. I'm lacing him up, doc. Let's go play. But before, when some guys get paid and they check out a little bit versus when whatever, he's obviously not in that boat because he's been paid his whole life. But it's almost like since his perspective has changed, since the scandal, since all that kind of stuff, and like he seems like he's a really good dad now. He's like always doing stuff with his kids. He's got like his whole TGR enterprises and all that kind of stuff. So he's focusing on that. Apparently that interview he did with Charlie Rose was super weird where he was like, I'm not going to catch Jack, but I am going to win a few more. It's like, okay. Like, it's kind of a weird answer. Like you're just going to concede that you're going to get to 17 and not get to 18?
No,
right?
he said, so like those off-season articles last year, they were like so sad and depressing, and they were like into the mind of him and like at his dad's grave and like all this weird shit. And like that was like so sad reading. I don't even think you could finish it. But then he's like, oh, I accept if anything else more than what I have now is just gravy or something, he said. But then the Charlie Rose one, he said, are you going to get 18 majors? And Tiger said, no. And the guy's like, oh, really? And Tiger goes, I'm going to get more. And like chuckles. It's like, oh.
That's not how Tiger Tracker made it seem. So I'm glad I got the additional color from you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, I think this dude has to win a Masters. Give me one more, bro. Like, it's a limited field. You can play the course in your sleep. And again, like, yes, you had a bunch of surgeries. How can you suck at chipping? You're Tiger Woods when you come back. Like you just said, he's going to be terrible in December. Why? In your backyard, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Is a chipping facility.
Yeah.
Use it. You should be dope. And it's like, not like, a lot of stress in old Bahamas in December.
I know. It's like, even if your back's hurt, bro, like you should be there, like just hitting little pitch and runs. Like he was literally like chunking them, like double hitting them.
TC Chen.
Oof.
TC Woods.
Yeah. I mean, everyone says he's done, and it sucks because everyone just starts getting into golf around like, graduate college or our age now, where we were obsessed with it for a long time. So we actually got to watch him be great. And now everyone just looks at him as a laughing stock. And it's like, people forget he was player of the year. People forget that. Like two and a half years ago, he won player of the year. He won 5 tournaments. He won the Players Championship. If he didn't hit the stick dead in the center at Augusta, he probably would have won the Masters that year. Like, I mean, we're not far away from him actually being great or very, very good.
Yeah, now I'm just getting depressed thinking about that shot.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. Look, I think we can bring it full circle and say that if the Cavaliers can win a championship, if the Indians can play in the World Series, if the Be Alert for Yabo's Cubs can play in the World Series, Tiger Woods can come back and win a couple more majors. It's possible, right?
Yeah. If I had to bet on it, yes, definitely possible. He's gonna rack up he's got like a few more regular PGA Tour wins to go to be all-time leader, so he'll probably get that. And then I'll give him like a major British Open in like 3-4, let's say 4 years.
So in 4 years, he'll get one British?
Yeah.
I think he's going to get a Masters before then.
Mm.
Now I'm back in. I went from depressed to optimistic.
What's this year? So this is next year will be 2017, 18, 19, 20. Is it 2020 will be at Augusta? Or sorry, St. Andrews? Yeah. Mark me down for that. TW St. Andrews.
Put it on the board?
You heard it here first, 2020.
Okay. I like that. I still think he's going to beat Jack's record.
I would.
If I have to take out Jordan Spieth's knees, I don't have to do anything to Jason Day because he's already all fucked up. This guy's got more injuries and colds than he knows what to do with.
Yeah.
I don't know who else I got to worry about, but I'll take out those two. We'll see. I think he'll get it back. And if he needs any plasma replacement surgery, I got a couple healthy knees right here.
Perfect. I'm available.
Right over. All right. Well, I think this was a good first episode. Is there anything else you wanted to hit on?
Nope. We'll call that it until next time.
Give me a prediction for the World Series.
Cubs in 5.
Cubs in 5? Love it. I think it's going to go 7, and I think it's going to end in a tie, and I think everyone's going to be like, oh, we knew that Cleveland and Chicago couldn't win any game. There was last thing I wanted to say was there was some tweet I saw the other day, which was, it was like an extra inning game or something, and they said, do you think any game will ever be played long enough until it's sunlight?
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you know who said that? I don't know who said that.
It was a Barstool thing, I think.
Was it a Barstool? That has become my reason to live.
Yeah, I know. I think about that sometimes.
I'm like, oh, that would be so cool. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work or where they'd have to play or what the optimum situation is, but I need that in my life more than I need oxygen.
Yeah, I just want them to use all the pitchers in a game. I don't care if it's till sunlight, but I want them to like 4:50 in the morning and it's like tomorrow's starter is up next. Like they got to throw them.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love that shit. All right, my dude. Good stuff. So when do you want to do? You want to do this weekly?
Well, let me just stop this.
Okay.